I'm a 42-year-old single mom, and I got pregnant by my son's college friend. I thought it was love, until my son smashed a phone in my face. And I realized that boy's only goal was to make my son call him Dad. My name is Emily. I'm 42. I own a well-known beauty clinic in Los Angeles. All those years of treatments make me look maybe early 30. Last week, I had a procedure, what they call a mini confinement. My body still aches, but the hole in my heart, that one's probably permanent. Right now, I'm sitting on my leather sofa, still holding the hospital bill. The mirror says I look fine. Smooth skin, no obvious cracks. But this whole mess started on one painfully sunny afternoon. I went home to grab a contract I'd forgotten. My son, Lucas, was there with his college friends, playing Switch. Loud, messy. I was about to say something when my eyes landed on the guy next to him. "Hi, Mrs. Collins," he said, and smiled. His name was Ethan, about 20-1 years old. White T-shirt, sunlight catching the faint fuzz on his face. When he smiled, his eyes crinkled in a way that carried none of the bitterness I was used to. My ex-husband never looked like that. I'd been divorced for 5 years. I'd built walls so high, I thought I was immune to men. But that day, with Ethan's clear eyes looking at me, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Panic. I grabbed my papers and got out. But his smile stayed with me the entire afternoon. A few weeks later, Lucas brought him over again. I was off that day, so I made a fruit platter nicely arranged. When I handed Ethan a glass of water, his fingers brushed against the back of my hand. Maybe accidental thought, maybe not. A shock went right up my spine. I nearly dropped the glass. That night, he added me on WhatsApp. For future meals, he said. But the first message he sent was, "You looked amazing in that dress today." I knew I should shut it down, but I didn't. I sent back a smile emoji. That smile emoji opened the door. He started calling me Emily instead of Mrs. Dear Collins. Then he upgraded to Eanes. I'd correct him, and he'd grin and say, "You don't look like a Mrs. Collins. You look like someone I'd want to hang out with." The real break came on a rainy night. Lucas was staying on campus. Ethan texted that he was working near my clinic. Forgot his umbrella. Could I give him a ride? I said yes. Inside the car, it was just us, warm, closed off from the storm. He wasn't his usual joking self. He just kept looking at me while I drove. "What?" I finally asked, my voice unsteady. "I was thinking," he said, "Lucas doesn't know what he has." I hit the brake at the red light. "If I had someone like you at home," he said, quieter now, "I'd never leave her alone." The air in the car shifted. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I hadn't been looked at like that, like a woman, not just someone's mom, in years. He said his dorm locked up soon. I drove him to a hotel near campus. He didn't get out. The first time I saw you, he said, unbuckling his seatbelt, leaning into my space. I didn't see a mom. I saw someone I wanted to take care of. Not like a son, like a man. That was it. The wall I'd spent 5 years building, it crumbled. I told myself it was one time that no one would know. I deserved something for myself, didn't I? That night, we drove into the hotel garage, and I crossed every line I thought I had. We started meeting at hotels. I was 42, but I had my pride. I knew I could hold my own. Ethan knew exactly what to say. He made me feel like I was in a movie, like I'd been given a second chance at being young. And I knew he didn't have money. He was a college kid, that's all I gave. Sneakers, a laptop, clothes. If he liked something, I bought it. Every dinner, every hotel, every weekend getaway came out of my pocket. Over a year, I spent close to $30,000 on him. Sometimes I thought about ending it, especially when Lucas would say things like, Ethan's been walking around in designer stuff lately. Where's he getting that money? I'd feel sick. But letting go, harder than any addiction. Then my period didn't come. I went to the doctor. 6 weeks pregnant. I sat in that office and felt the ground disappeared under me. I couldn't keep it .age. Aside, the situation alone would destroy everything. I booked the procedure. I told no one. 3 days after, I was napping in my bedroom. Lucas came home to grab winter clothes. He didn't tell me he was coming. My phone was charging in the living room, and Ethan's message came through. No contact name, but a preview said, Baby, how are you feeling? That procedure takes a lot out of you. That's take care of yourself. I'll come see you in a couple days. Lucas picked up my phone. He was standing in my doorway when I opened my eyes. Mom, he said, his voice cracking. Who is this? I tried to grab the phone. He pulled it away. And then he opened the chat. All of it got the messages. The photos from hotel rooms. Everything I'd tried to bury. Right there on the screen. His face went from confusion to disgust to something I'd never seen in my son's eyes before. Pure rage. He threw the phone on the floor. Dottie bounced off the carpet. It's him, Lucas screamed. It's Ethan. Mom, do you know what he's been doing? In the dorm, he pats me on the back and tells me to call him Dad. I thought it was a joke. I thought he was messing with me. He was laughing at me this whole time. He wanted me to call him Dad because he was screwing my mother. I reached for him, still weak from the procedure. Lucas, I'm sorry. He yanked his arm away. Don't touch me. His voice was ice. You'll make me sick. Lucas moved back to campus that day. He hasn't come home since. I ended it with Ethan. When I did, he texted, I really did like you, you know. We could still be together, the baby thing, whatever. I stared at that message. He'd never liked me. He liked what I bought him. He liked the thrill of sleeping with someone's mother. And the biggest thrill of all, making that someone call him Dad. I blocked him. A few days ago, I sent Lucas's money for his expenses and asked if he wanted to come home for dinner. He took the money. He replied, no. That's it. 2 letters. I thought I was having a late romance. I thought if I was careful, I could steal a little happiness from my empty middle age. I thought having money, looking good, meant I was in control. But I forgot the oldest rule there is. Everything comes with a price. I spent $30,000 and a pregnancy on a fantasy. When I woke up, I'd lost the only thing that actually mattered. People talk about midlife crisis like it's buying a sports car or dyeing your hair. But the real crisis? It's when you trade your child's respect for a boy's attention, and you don't even realize you've made the trade until it's too late. If I could go back to that sunny afternoon, I'd never go home for that contract. I'd stay at the clinic. I'd grow old alone with my lines and my quiet life. And at least at the end of the day, my son would still smile at me and say, Hey, Mom,